So I want to talk about Jorgen because I'm starting to see him in the arena again. I'm starting to see him in the arena again. If you don't know who Jorgen is, so Jorgen, when I started playing the game, Jorgen was the best hero in the game. Like in 2019, this guy was the best hero in the game, and then they released Sebastian, and he became pretty much useless. He stopped seeing much play after that. But pretty much his ult, what it does is it puts a debuff on enemy heroes for 9 seconds where they can't gain energy. 9 seconds is a long time, right? And this is not something that can be blocked by chorus. Just shuts out their energy gain for 9 seconds. He also has a protection ability which allows an ally to gain energy at doubled range until the shield is destroyed. Then you also have, like, this one is actually, usually people don't love this. It's actually kind of a bad ability because it causes damage to be directed to the furthest back hero, which could be pretty awkward if they're using Martha or something. So a lot of people don't recommend not leveling this up. That's why I haven't leveled up. But then he has this one. His basic attack, steal energy from a hero. It's 11%. Maxed out, it's 11% every time he does a basic attack. He takes away 11% of their energy. Because most basic attacks usually add 10%. So if they just exchanging one for one, he is draining their energy faster than they are getting it. So this is those two abilities though. Tainted Wounds belongs his ult. Like he can shut down enemy energy gain. However, because Sebastian became a theme, he couldn't really do this anymore. However, I'm starting to see Fluffy. I'm starting to see Jorgen paired with Fluffy in some of these lineups here. Like there's Jorgen. There's no Fluffy that one, but see, there's Jorgen and Fluffy. I'm seeing lines like this right here. Jorgen and Fluffy. They're also using chorus. Not Sebastian. They're putting Jorgen in. I'm seeing this more and more. And yeah, like said, Fluffy is making things harder for Sebastian. We've talked about this. There are ways to counter it. You can put Sebastian in the very back and use the War Flag of Readiness to kind of speed out an Otis ready before Fluffy can counter it. But the presence of Jorgen definitely makes things harder. Also, I probably don't use Jorgen enough against lines like this that don't have Sebastian, but we've been able to stun lock. You could also stun lock with Racking and stuff. But I do have Jorgen somewhere. There's Jorgen. Okay, so let's talk about, let's see if we can get some Jorgening happening. Jorgen, Sebastian. Actually, maybe don't use Sebastian because we're going to use Jorgen. Like I said, Jorgen was the go-to support role character for the longest time, but we can see how this works. Usually you would probably keep him underdeveloped. Like, he's only orange. That's strong enough. Like, usually you wouldn't develop his HP, right? Because you want his ult to generate fast. You want his ult to generate fast, but we'll show you what Jorgen could do here. So, Jorgen's... Oh, we didn't get his ult off. Okay, well, that didn't work. That's fine. We'll find a team we can use Jorgen again. Just kind of explain this here. We'll just explain this here. Da-da-da. That's fine. My Jorgen might be a bit too underdeveloped. We might need to use Axel on him. Might need to use Axel on him just because he's underdeveloped, but... That was the meta, was to keep him underdeveloped, just so you can ult fast. But he got stunned, which was part of his issue there, so... Of course, now we don't have Axel on Celeste. And that's why I actually like Sebastian. That's why Sebastian's good, though. This is why Sebastian is good. This is why Sebastian's good. What's this one? Alright, so... Let's try this again. Alright. Alright. These fights are just aren't long enough. This is the other thing. He's kind of slow. He's, like I said, this is submet. He was from another time. Like, he's from another time, but I was, like, interested. Like, why am I starting to see Jorgen more? And it's, I think, as well as Fluffy. We don't have Fluffy developed. We might have to... We have a hero turn power, so it might be time to buff him up. Might be a good buffing up time, but... See, okay, this might be a good test for that here. Yeah, this is something where you don't have, like, they're using Lyria, which can be really tough for Aurora, but maybe we can win here. Yeah, so also why you'd want to keep Jorgen, try to get his ult up faster. Okay, that's the shield that gains extra energy. The one you just put up. Okay, so here's his ult. So now see that they are not going to gain energy for 9 seconds. Said, and his basic attack does drain. We should go watch one of the replays that I could show, so I show you. But look at this. We are winning here. They didn't have Sebastian to block Jorgen. That's part of the key here. If they don't have Sebastian, like if they're like not using Sebastian because they're fluffy or whatever, Jorgen becomes a possible choice again. And we just beat Leary with an Aurora line too. By you pretty much using Jorgen to kind of lock him up, but it is slow. Jorgen is slow. This is the other thing, like meta with Sebastian. Sebastian kind of helped enable faster metas. I mean, back when Jorgen was popular, the lineups usually used Astaroth and Martha as well. I mean, Astaroth and Martha don't do damage. Like the meta was slow. Like that meta was way slower. Like Sebastian enabled faster metas. That was a big deal, part of it too. That's leading into it, but let's like look at this. So look at Galahad's energy here. And then watch as Jorgen attacks. See how Galahad just lost a bunch of energy? That's what Jorgen does. His basic attacks is draining the energy from their frontmost hero. So again, this could be that combined with his ultimates could just shut down their energy gain. And with that, we'll show you the replay here. So look, he has his ultimate there, and now they are not gaining energy. Heidi, who normally gains energy fast, is not gaining energy because Jorgen is blocking energy gain for 9 seconds. So being able to just shut down their energy gain is pretty devastating for a lot of teams. As I said, Sebastian completely shuts down Jorgen's ability to do that, which is why Jorgen went from being the best hero in the game to being almost never played at all. But in a meta where Sebastian is not as prevalent, all of a sudden Jorgen starts looking good again. Jorgen, like I said, I've seen more and more teams without Sebastian. I've also seen Jorgen more like another Sebastian-less team. Another team with no Sebastian. They do have Isaac, though. Which means I probably want to use something like this. Alright. We're just going to use Chorus. In theory, we should probably have used Sebastian over Thea and just had Maya as our only healer. Yeah, he probably works better with Axel. But there you go. So, important to note, Isaac is not an energy gain hero. He doesn't have energy, so Jorgen's ult does nothing to him. But we get the win here. We shut down the rest of their team. We get a win. Like, that is what Jorgen brings. Again, let's just watch this replay here. Like I said, I'd probably just use Sebastian over Jorgen just because Sebastian's Odin ready is better protection, but again, they are not able to gain energy. Kark had full energy for Jorgen's ult came down, but Isaac, he can still gain charge because the charge is not energy, is a completely different resource. He doesn't use energy at all, so Jorgen's all of Jorgen's abilities are pretty much useless for Isaac. So you have to keep that in mind, but let's see if we can find, where's some of these fluffy teams? Like this one here. This is a fluffy team. That's a guild mate, though. Fluffy teams. Alright, so here's a fluffy team. Found a fluffy team, actually. So let's just do this one here. Alright, so this one, they have Fluffy. Like, so if we use Sebastian, he's gonna get, he'll lose his ult unless we want to do a theme. But since they don't have, Sebastian their own, we could just try using Jorgen here. So this is where we can use a Jorgen. So again, they aren't using Lyria, so let's just use Aurora here. And let's see. We could just keep Arachnemaya, like, so they're using Chorus, which makes Arachnemaya less than ideal, but it might work. So let's use Axel. I don't think we have too much to worry about that we need Odin Serenity, so let's just do this here. One thing we could do like War Flag of Readiness, try to speed up Jorgen's ult, which is another thing we probably should have been doing earlier. But because he's in the back here. Like I said, Aurora's like already ate Fluffy's thing, but now they are not going to gain energy. And Yeah, that's keeping down their energy luck so they're not going to ult anymore. There we go. Fluffy's down. Yeah, Fluffy's ult is actually pretty good. Being able to lock that down, keeping him from ulting is actually pretty significant. Yeah, we're seeing less Sebastian, more Fluffy. Jorgen, this creates openings for Jorgen. Like, that's actually pretty good. That's a good, like, use case for Jorgen. Also, look at that damage from Aurora. Aurora's pretty good. There's a reason why Aurora dominated the metagame for so long, and why she's still probably worth Kathrine. Yeah, so look, they are not gaining energy, so, and it's like, so that's what Jorgen does. He just locks you down. Anyway, they're locked down, he's draining more of their energy with his basic attacks. It's savage. In a world like that, imagine the meta before Sebastian, every team was using Jorgen. Like, that's what it was like. You could not gain energy because everybody was using Jorgen. Like, the whole meta was Jorgen. It was brutal, guys. More Fluffy. Or was that Fluffy team I just looked at and I just clicked over because I was talking? I know I saw it's Fluffy team a second ago and I clicked over because I was chattering. Fluffy, where are you? Fluffy, where are you? So let's go find... there was a Fluffy Jorgen line up here I want to test against for this video, so... Here we go. So right here, this is Fluffy, Jorgen, no Sebastian. Let's use Jorgen of our own, but we see like Jorgen being used here. Jorgen is being used. All right. Like I said, here's because they're using you almost need Sebastian, but our Sebastian's probably gonna get ganked by Fluffy there because you can't use them together like that. But what we can do. Don't need. So let's see if we can beat Fluffy and Jorgen together. But look, Otis Reddy's gonna get lost to Fluffy. Yep, because that was our first ult. There we go. Alright, but they just lost their energy gain. So did we, because we lost our first Otis Serenity, but now we got Otis Serenity up. So now Heidi could start doing his thing, Aurora could start going crazy, and maybe not. Maybe we're still gonna lose here. Nope, still lose. Yeah, try to say we only had one DPS because we were using both Sebastian and Jorgen. Like I said, but this is what I said. I mean, this is brutal. We lose to Jorgen because Fluffy was able to shut down. Like I said, watch. So we lose our Ode to Serenity right at the beginning. Ode to Serenity gets ganked. I get or Jorgen's ult off, but so do they. They get them both off about the same time, even though I had the Warfly ready. So we both get energy screwed. Like, if I had goodness, because I had Ode Serenity got ganked. Like, this is what Jorgen did here, because that's what Fluffy and Jorgen breed is. You can gank their Ode to Serenity, then lock them down with Jorgen and win that way. It's very controlled. It's very slow. It's not the flashy win, but like this line actually looks pretty good. Folio. They're also using Folio, another hero that hasn't really found a spot yet, but maybe. What if Folio becomes meta, guys? What if Folio becomes meta? Alright, so let's try that team again. This time we'll make some adjustments. So, yeah, if Otis Reddy's gonna get ganked, how do you counter that? War Flag of Readiness. Try to beat them to the punch. He said we just stunned their Jorgen, so Then the only ult that got yanked by their Fluffy was Aurora's ult instead with the stun. I think we might have kept their Jorgen from getting enough energy with the Arachne stun. So they locked down his ult and he's not gaining energy right now. Yep, okay, there you go. Yeah, they don't have Sebastian of their own, but yeah, we're using Jorgen against Jorgen. Sebastian did not help us that much. Like said, so that's kind of what you're getting here, but Jorgen starting to see a comeback, guys. There it is, there it is. There it is, guys. Said Maya doing some damage there, but yeah. So yeah, we get our ult off of Jorgen fast. Like I said, we do use the war flag already to try to get him faster. And ours is underdeveloped specifically to try to get faster energy gain. But the Arachne stuns locking down their Jorgen, even though they had full, they do have, of course, so there's going to be surrounding us. But we were able to get the win here. And that's, like I said, because we used Jorgen against their Jorgen. But their Jorgen, like I said, Jorgen plus Fluffy makes Sebastian not that good anymore. You can't just use, like I said, they'll just gank your own Serenity and then lock you down with Jorgen. Like I said, I think that's a combination you will see a lot more. I think Jorgen's gonna see a lot more play going forward, guys. But yeah, no, said Sebastian is just not as strong as he was post Fluffy, and it confirms the worst. Somehow, Jorgen returned. But yeah, not too much more to say on this one. Like I said, there are still ways you could still force out Ode to Serenity with Sebastian before Fluffy can counter it with like use the War Flag Readiness. I did a whole video about that. If you are interested, please check it out down below. As always, thank you for watching.